The feeling of masturbation can feel so good right up until the moment you release your little kids from your ball sack. I've tried countless ways of trying to stop masturbating and overall being less horny. I've tried searching videos up, but I just never really followed their tips, to be honest. However, I was able to completely stop masturbating and being so horny all the time by 5 simple steps I found on my own. I will share these 5 lessons, and some of it may sound dumb, but it has truly worked for me. The first lesson is to actually masturbate as many times as you can in one day. I know this sounds stupid and probably isn't a solution that would be given online, but it's actually a mental battle you go through. Because each time you do it, sure, it feels good in the moment, but the second that dopamine gets released, you have a sense of regret. So imagine in one day having that sense of regret more than once. It made me sick of doing it because I overdid it. The idea sounds dumb, but the logic actually makes sense. When you're eating food and you keep stuffing food down your throat past the point where you're already full, the next day you don't feel like eating at all. This is the same thing, except you'll have that feeling for more than one day. And by doing so, it will give you more of a leverage to then not do it ever again, because the other 4 lessons I'm going to share come right after each step. The first step was to overdo it so you get a feeling of regret. That brings me to lesson 2, which is whenever you get horny, literally picture your mom or grandma naked. Or even worse, your dad or grandpa. I get that it sounds crazy, but it works like a charm. The next time you might be in public and see a girl walk by that makes not only you, but something else a little too happy, right then is when you want to imagine the worst thing possible. Just like that, all your problems go away. Getting aroused in random settings is the worst thing ever, and the reason why you start feeling horny so much more is because you stopped masturbating, so your body is trying to get used to it. Because it was programmed by you to masturbate daily, but since you decided enough was enough, it's taking time for your body to get reprogrammed to this new routine. I'm gonna be honest, there are times where I find it so hard to not give into the temptation of masturbating, which shouldn't put me in the position to tell you guys why to stop doing it. However, even when I get that temptation, and I'm trying my best to think of a disturbing picture in my head, sometimes what helps me is to do 10 push-ups right away. By doing that, it helps elevate my dopamine and serotonin levels. The third lesson is not having any free time. The only way you start masturbating is when you get the chance to. So by trying to make yourself as busy as possible, it will only help you with controlling yourself sooner. You can play video games all day, hang out with your friends, play basketball, read, write, literally anything you can think of that will make you busy. But going on social media will not help, because if you're scrolling through TikTok and come across one video that changes your mood in an instance, it's over. This has happened to me countless times, and I know it's the same for you guys. I understand that you can't stay busy forever, and so what helped me was trying to start a new show to watch, because if I got hooked on it, it would be the only thing I'd really do in my free time. So by making yourself busier than usual, you will find it to be very effective with not masturbating, and you will be able to be more productive. So by now you've learned 3 essential ways in order to not masturbate. I still have 2 very valuable lessons to teach, and the last lesson will make everything else easier and more effective. The 4th lesson is to work out. Working out should already be a daily activity in your life. There are so many benefits from it. But the main one we're looking at is that it helps with not masturbating. If you start to build a routine, you'll realize how much it actually helps with not doing the deed. I found it helpful when my whole day was already planned, waking up, going to the gym, then considering if you go to school or not. 6 hours of your day goes to education. Then you have other activities you might do after school, or maybe you have to work. You then come back, maybe watch a show or 2, and then go to sleep. Yeah, this routine will not apply to everyone, but you get the idea I'm trying to make, which is that it's making no time for masturbating. The big problem with it is that you find yourself less motivated, less disciplined, not being able to focus on something for too long, as well an overall decrease in testosterone, which is essential for the gym in order to truly get a good workout in. Finally, the last lesson that will help every other lesson and be able to make the transition from masturbating to not at all is to delete the social media that make you transition from TikTok to the Pornhub. If you have the discipline to do that, then you won't have that temptation to masturbate as much. Sure, on rare occasions you might get horny randomly, but because you're effectively doing all the other lessons from before, then you will find yourself more disciplined and be able to not give in to the temptation. Because as you make a productive routine, your endorphins go through the roof, which helps with reducing stress, improving mood, and overall a better well-being. It took me a while at first because I still had TikTok and Instagram downloaded, and later came to my sense that the social media platforms were the source behind everything. So once I was able to delete them and stick to my routine and not have social media get in my way, my endorphins were skyrocketing, allowing me to go about my day without ever masturbating. So the final lesson is to just get rid of social media for as long as you can, because it will make everything else so much easier. By now you've learned 5 very essential lessons in order to stop masturbating. Whether you decide to listen to me or not does not matter. I'm only able to provide you with this video because it's worked for me, and so has all my other videos I've posted. Because my whole channel is about providing you guys with essential lessons that I've had to go through in order for you to learn from me. So if you think you can benefit from these videos, be sure to give a follow and stay tuned for the next